everybody? We are back. It is Taped on Launch, Favorite Raiders podcast, Favorite Raiders channel, Favorite Raiders everything. We are back. You guys already know what to do. Hit the subscribe button. Subscribe. Hit the like button if you like it. Hit the dislike button if you don't like it. Leave a comment if you like it. Leave a comment if you don't like it. Also, follow us on Twitter at the Mark John NFL for me, at Glen Rockney for Glenn. And, of course, pandasubs.com for discount code TDL for 25% off. All right. So, we're off our first game. Football season has started officially, Glenn. I'm sure Shedeur Sanders has got some Raiders fans upset with his performance. I'm sure that like we could have drafted somebody, but I don't know, man. Cam Miller didn't look too bad, but but yeah. So we're going to be talking about the game last night. Of course, I found out some film. I found some film, so I was excited about that. I got to watch some preseason film. That was exciting for me.
Nice.
That's part of this. All of this is I got some new film to watch. And yeah, we had a game. The game was tied 23-23. Didn't feel that way based on Raiders Twitter was reacting to that, and just Raiders everywhere. I saw on some Raiders Reddit, so people making some mean things about JPJ and all that stuff. So yeah, people weren't too happy with the performance. But yeah, here we are, man. We're going to be talking about that today. The 23-23 tie game between the Seahawks and the Raiders in preseason. So how you feeling, Glenn? How you feeling, man?
I'm good. I enjoyed watching the game yesterday, and I did not. People will notice if on Twitter I was mad about the defense, but if they played well last night, my concerns about the defense would still be there. I really don't care that much about preseason. It's nuanced, though. I obviously care. I sit down and I watch them and I look forward to it. But it's kind of like, to me, it's like, when you're missing tackles, that's when I'm like, wait, that is a fundamental. No, there's no system where you can't, they have to install where tackling is, tackling's not that big of a deal or something. So that's a big deal. Whereas with the offense, I'm kind of like, dude, they're not showing anything on offense.
Yeah.
And it was a quarterback competition. They passed a lot. They passed. And I think there's genuinely a battle for QB2 for that reason. And I think that's what we were watching last night. And, that's kind of the problem with rolling over so many coaching staff so often, is that it's always an install year with the Raiders. So we're always seeing these people like, why'd they look so rusty in that first game? Like, they never keep the same staff. I mean, I know they still have Patrick Graham, but last night you could tell there were just some people that struggled with kind of, this is the first time they've had to test out the new system, or at least the new philosophy in terms of the defense against somewhere else. Like that to me is that's tougher than people think. And that's why when you see the Ravens in the preseason, they look good. You know why? Because they have Zach Orr, they have also, but it's the same head coach. They have the same head coach and that's what we're hoping to have for the Raiders for a long time.
Yeah. When going back and watching the game again, I guess it changed my perspective on a couple things, especially like how the O-line played. I didn't think they played really well watching it on TV, and then I went back and watched it myself. And of course, there's like some guys didn't play very well, but I thought they played better than I thought. So a couple guys did that, and then same thing with the defense. It felt like the defense, and why they struggled is it felt like all it took was one guy to not know what the hell he was doing, and it blew everything for them. And it felt like that's what was happening with the whole defense, in my opinion. It's just like it felt like one guy would mess up, even though some other guys would look good. So I kind of just was like, I'm gonna watch these guys individually and see how these guys are playing individually instead of seeing how they were as a group. Because like they're trying to run stunts, and they're like running into each other. Like a guy would take the wrong angle on a stunt, they're running into each other. Tyree Wilson's running to one guy, and then like Tonka Hemingway's running into Tyree Wilson. It would take one guy, missing an assignment and on the run play, and then everything's messed up. The guy's breaking out outside for a whole long touchdown or another long run. It just felt like it just took one guy not knowing the hell he's doing. And I'm more worried about like their depth at certain positions.
Oh yeah, right.
And also, one thing I said is like I worry about their depth and also who they're playing to. I'm gonna talk about that a little bit.
Okay,
talk about that a little bit. Just who they're playing on defense at certain spots is weird. Because I don't know why Matt Jones is out there that early.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know if some guys, like, if they put Matt Jones out, maybe they're conflicted as a staff. One guy saying that he's good, one guy saying he's bad, and then Pete Carroll's going, let's figure it out. And then you see a preseason, and then you see film, and you're like, okay, I told you. You know, I mean, this guy was right. He's not good, or whatever. I'm not trying to shit on these guys. It's their first game. First game. You know, I think people overreact way too much. I saw a lot of good stuff though. I don't know. Like, to me, I'll put it to this way though. Last night I didn't see a lot of people getting excited. Today I think there's clips going around of it.
Mm-hmm.
International program player Laki Tassi, they got something there. There's something there, and I immediately understand why, even though they probably wanted him to be a defensive tackle, they were probably like, oh, it'd be sick if we found the next Haloti Nada or something. As a guard, I mean, his feet are just so quick. His anchor, I mean, you can't. He has quick enough feet to where I know he can move, but then for now, he can just Bobby Boucher whatever's in front of him, and that was. I think he's a little. I don't think he's going to take multiple years. Let's just say that much. Like, I think he'll be able to be at least depth next year or something. Cause that to me that's what you look for in preseason, is like, is there somebody I just don't know about that's good? And I knew about Laki Tassi, and Pete Carroll had brought him up a few times, but man, I'm telling you, and people keep saying practice squad, he's an international player. He's protected on our roster. Doesn't count against the roster spot, and no team can pluck him off your international thing. I don't think so. If that's the case. They had a guy named David Agoha the last couple of years. I think they cut him to bring in Laki Tassi. That feels like a good move. So to me, I think it'll be really interesting if he has a couple big games, and he's the type of guy that's going to get media buzz. Because the story's crazy, right? People love that stuff. Like those like NFL Redditor guys, when you used to play rugby, they think that's the coolest thing in the world. And especially when you're that big, you're going to stick out like a sore thumb. So I think right there, things like that. Shedrick Jackson, literally never heard of him. And I'm thinking Tommy Malot's not making this team. Those are the things. That's what I watched during preseason. The rest of it, dude, let's be real. Do we remember what happened in the preseason games after our regular season's over? No, we don't usually, unless it's an injury, which thank God the Raiders, that in that game, Rashawn Slater for the Chargers in practice got carted off the field. That automatically would make your practice or game terrible. Yeah.
The Raiders are healthy right now. I mean, that's the only good thing. Right. And I thought when the first team offense went out there, I thought they looked pretty clean. I thought they looked pretty good. I mean, if they didn't have that drop to Dante Thornton, right?
Yeah.
And even the Jacoby Myers play, if you watch it on film, if he doesn't drop that ball, he might get a first down. So I thought they looked pretty decent there. In my opinion, I thought the first team offense looked good, and AOC kind of struggled a little bit, but I thought McDonald was throwing everything at him. I mean, they were not playing around. It was vanilla versus full on install. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're doing trap 2 and stuff like that, man. I'm like, this is preseason, bro. Like, why you got Aiden O'Connell out there throwing against trap 2 like he's playing week 5?
But at the same time, why isn't it a little weird that Aiden O'Connell, being year 3 in the league, isn't able to see that?
Yeah. I know it is. Right. I mean, it was a little bit of a rookie mistake, but you know what I'm saying? But like he probably wasn't expecting like to be running those type of defenses, but it is what it is. I mean, you end up throwing a pick there, but like it was interesting from the perspective of like watching a broadcast and then watching the film. It just changed my mind about a couple things. I still didn't. On defense, they still didn't play well. I thought they didn't have a good pass rush that much. I thought the first team defense did. Adam Butler was out of his mind. People aren't talking about Adam Butler. That he was dominating, and he of course, Drew Lock was getting rid of the ball before he got there.
Yeah,
but man, was he dominating, bro? Like I was pretty shocked because I didn't hear his name at all, and nobody talked about him. And I turn on the film, and it's like he's just off the chain. I'm like, bro. I'm like, okay, all right. I mean, if you could play like that, then that's going to replace Christian Wilkins because he was penetrating. So that was exciting to see some of the things like that. But you got to realize this preseason because, like I said, when they're on defense, and I saw those two guys run into each other on the stunts, I was like, oh, this is preseason football. It's just so sloppy to watch.
And I will say to anybody who's just feeling absolutely dejected about, just absolutely in the dumps about watching that game last night, if you have faith in this coaching staff, and assuming you still do, if you're this person, if you have faith in this coaching staff, they put all this stuff on film, against the team, and this is why the coaching staff is being paid and being talked about as one of the better coaching staffs in the league right now, is because they're able to take these things on tape and make proper roster evaluations. They're kind of able to go, okay, maybe Devin White's not back,
Yeah.
like things like that. Like I'm kind of glad guys like that didn't ball out in the preseason, because that's deceiving, right? Somebody like Devin White going out and smacking shit in the preseason, you'd be like, yeah, bro. Now, to that being said, Jamal Adams did look like rookie Jamal Adams, the speed. The speed was because that was what we all weren't sure was going to be there. I am intrigued with that. But guys like Devin White, these other guys, I thought Tyree Wilson looked okay. I mean, he made a couple nice plays against, and he looked like he was in the right place and was able to play with some power without being robotic. I thought Darian Porter had one bad play, but otherwise, I thought that really smart play on the rollout from Drew Lock to realize he had help behind him and to just make sure Lock doesn't get past the line of scrimmage and pick up that first down. Those are things that I like to see. I thought most of the rookies played well, well enough, which that's to me, it's rookies plus being healthy plus a few guys popping up out of nowhere. That's all I need in a preseason game.
Yeah, because who looked really good? JJ Pegues, if I'm saying his name right. I say Pegues. Is it Pegues?
Piggy. I saw Ben Solak posted a big clip of him just sweeping two linemen out of his face.
He looked pretty damn good. Playing just being a big guy in the middle, playing the run. He looked pretty damn good. You could tell something's there. I'm like, okay, all right, JJ. And you know who else looked really good too out there? It was Jamal Adams, of course, but Tommy Eichenberg.
Yes, he did
really good on film. I was like, wow, okay.
He looked a little more swole too. Looked a little more when I saw 44, I was like, Nick Kwiatkowski. They gave him another trip back to the NFL. Kwiatkowski, he looked pretty big. I was like, man, yeah, he had a couple plays where he got in there quick, made the right read. Nothing flashy, but I was like, hey, what Devin White versus Eichenberg? Don't let me make that decision. I'll just say that much.
Yeah, I was like, Eichenberg looked good, but if I was going to go to starting linebackers after just watching the preseason film, I'm going Adams and Eichenberg, because when they were out there, they could not run the ball that well. I mean, they had that long run, but that was more outside, and it was kind of based on the formation. They just didn't have the numbers. It was a bad. I don't know why they came out with that play call against that run, but they. Those two guys played really well. And I was like, I mean, if you're going to have two linebackers, you might as well have Jamal and him, because Landon Roberts and Devin White did not look good, So it was pretty ugly to watch those guys. But as I'm saying, if I was just going off the first preseason game and what you're talking about, who's actually going to play and going off the film and see who's better. I mean, Eichenberg and Adams was not a bad tandem, because Eichenberg was reading it fast. So was Adams.
Yeah.
And, they were making plays if they tried to run up the middle, man. It was nice, bro. It was nice. So.
Yeah, got to give a shout out to on the offensive side too. You got to give a shout out to Dylan Laube. I mean, who would have thought, man? I mean, there's that play where you see Laube and Malott as dual punt returns, and Malott almost did one of the dumbest things I've ever seen somebody do in a preseason game. Thank God he didn't. He almost touched that ball in the end zone when it was in, or whatever it was. He just didn't look like he had a clue. Laube looked like he actually took the offseason seriously. And that final running back spot's going to be interesting. That final, Collier, it was this Collier guy. I mean, I know he played a little last year, but he was running hard. And I was like, this is going to be interesting, because I didn't really notice a difference in Zamir White at all. He looks a little different, but he runs the same. I mean, Mostert had one garbage run. Not what I mean is garbage run. It was 3rd and 20, and he got 11, and it looked good. Other than that, and then Genty, I mean, gosh, of course, talk of the town, Genty -1. Everyone's on bust watch. I mean, just the preseason overreaction is just nuts. But I think Laube is. I think Laube. I mean, he's gonna have to show he can hold on to the ball consistently, and if he's able to do that, with his special teams capability, I mean, that's just not a guy I saw making this team this year at all.
Yeah. I thought the two best running backs last night was McCormick looked really good too. I thought Sincere McCormick
Yeah.
he's just a natural runner though. That dude, he could just run the football. Like it's really, I don't know if he could do anything else, but I know one damn thing he could do is run the damn football. Like he has great vision, patience.
Yeah.
But Dylan Lobby was showing like patience and stuff like that he never really showed last year, and didn't really even show in college. Like some of the runs I was watching, he had a 4-yard run. I mean, he had the long run, of course, but he had a 4-yard run that was like really nice. It was just like, it's like, okay, Dylan, like, what have you been doing? Like, you took this serious, man. You took not playing, having Chris Collier play over you when you should have been playing last year. You took that serious because I think him getting better is huge, right? Because I think he can add to special teams, and it does put a lot of pressure on Zamir White, right? I mean, because Zamir White looks like Zamir White, and if you have Dylan Lobby out there reading things, reading these power runs correctly, and making a lot of plays, then yeah, it's going to be pretty damn good. I really like what I saw from Dylan Lobby too.
Yeah. I see some questions about Genty in there. I think maybe we can get to that because I didn't really care about the Genty stuff at all. Like I knew people were going to say things because that's just the way it is. I know he was out there for like 2 series or something like that.
Yeah.
And to me, it felt like the defense was selling out. Because you're talking about defensive second unit of the Seahawks. Notice the first play of the game, they all followed Genty on that play, and Gino and Gino went. That was a beautiful play to Trey Tucker. I mean, I think that's going to be there all year. By the way, that play, and that's a basic concept. Chip Kelly's down to show you right now. But I think we're going to see a lot more exotic blocking, schemes and run schemes with Genty where they're going to really confuse defenses with it. Whereas if you're a second unit player on the Seahawks that's starting there, what's the best way to make a name for yourself? Go cheat. And not cheat. I just mean like go over pursue and just be like, oh, Genty's got the ball and everybody gets in the backfield. I didn't think it was that big of a deal, the whole Genty thing. The whole first unit of the offense, they played 1 series. I mean, who cares?
Yeah, and I think the Genty, I mean, people are asking questions like, what happened to the O-line? Genty couldn't get a single yard with his backups. People ask a lot of questions about the O-line. How did the O-line look? Watching on broadcast look bad? What are your thoughts on the line? Don't answer all these questions. Yeah, people are interested in the offensive line because he said, do you think Bartle was more so due to poor O-line play? Some of the film reviewers didn't like he had any holes to hit for more than 3 yards. Well, yeah. I mean, I thought the first run he had where he got like 3 yards, I thought they got a little bit of push there. Somebody asked me about somebody said something about JPJ and Jack Sparks Johnson. I didn't think they didn't look bad out there. They didn't look bad at all. I mean, I don't think they gave all the pressure, to be honest. I think they looked pretty set. I mean, they looked like they were starters playing against 2s and 3s. That's what I'll say about those two. DJ Glaze, I don't know. I was a little worried. Somebody asked how did Glaze look? Yeah, Glaze didn't look very well. He didn't look good at all. He was getting beat. He was getting beat by like 2s and 3s. Let's keep it real. If you want to talk about him. But I thought JPJ and Jordan Meredith played pretty well overall on that first drive, and then the second run with Ashton Genty. I mean, Caleb Rogers just blew a block. I mean, and that ended up being that kind of that big loss. But the thing is, like, I thought Caleb Rogers played well, but besides that play, I thought he looked pretty good overall. Like, he didn't really have a mess up on a run. I don't think he gave up pressure. I mean, I could look on PFF, but I don't think he gave up pressure either. He looked pretty good in pass protection. He looked pretty good against the run. I thought overall he played pretty well. Like I thought for the offensive lineman, I thought just from the young guys and just looking at the young guys around him, I thought he shocked me a little bit. I didn't think he was played that well at guard, to be honest. And after seeing that one play where he missed that block. I mean, just seeing it online, I just assumed that he didn't play well, but I just watched it in the film. Like, he didn't look that bad, man. Charles Grant, I thought played a little bit better than I thought too.
That was weird. I saw him getting torn apart on Twitter, and there was literally one play where, yes, he did get wide. It's this high pad level. You and I, when he got drafted, everybody said steal of the draft, and I said I think it's going to take a year or so. You and I both said that. We're like, it's William and Mary. His body is still. I don't think he's fully developed in terms of what his NFL body is going to look like. I mean, I think he's going to be his feet are great, so it's like I think it's going to be like a Colton Miller situation where it's like I think they're going to stash him. I think Colton Miller is a perfect guy for him to develop under, I think, in my opinion. But, there was that one play where Charles Grant, they're like, oh, and he gets walked back into the quarterback, which did happen. O'Connell held the ball for 4 seconds.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, I put like O'Connell when I go out there. I think that's honestly one of the main reasons they stunk on off or with in the first half on offense, because I thought O'Connell was flat out terrible. Like, I just don't think. I mean, why are you holding the ball for 4 seconds against the second team defense in preseason? Like, you still aren't seeing this, and I know it's a new offense for him. I get that, but it's this weird thing. Like, he just can't play free. You know, like you watched Cam Miller come in there, and I don't think Cam Miller even has a better arm than O'Connell. He doesn't. He plays free. He plays free. He just played free and was just moving around, buying time when he could. And after, you know, Cam Miller had one high throw to Colin Johnson where it was like, okay, settle down. I think he settled down. Whereas O'Connell the whole time just looked shook. And I'm just like, I know you've had 5 OCs already in your 3-year career. That does suck. Yeah. But man, like there's just no poise. And that's the most disappointing thing. I don't believe in the controversy everybody was talking, like those fans were talking about between him and Gino. It was never a controversy. I just thought we were going to have a good backup in O'Connell, and now I'm not so sure.
Yeah, because you know, coming back to the offensive line, I thought the tackles were bad. Like Munford was pretty bad. Glaze was bad.
He was
right.
Was awful.
Yeah, Munford was bad, and so was Glaze. So the tackles were bad. I thought Charles Grant, like I said, he played decent. I wouldn't say he played great, but it was better than I thought. I thought he played awful, right? So I went to the film like, oh, I mean, I saw the talent basically is what I saw on film more than is he ready to play right now. I saw the talent, right, and because he still has a high pad level, a lot of the problems I had with him, they're still there, but he still has great feet. Man, he moves really well in zone. You saw that. I mean, he did that in college. You saw that on film too. Mm-hmm. So it was more about the potential you saw with him. But yeah, most of the blown runs that we saw, the bad runs was Munford and Glaze. It was those guys were not good at all. So that was a big concern for me. It was those 2 guys did not play well, right? And Glaze just, I mean, if he's supposed to be the starting right tackle, I want you to play better. And I know he has problems with speed rushers, and the guy did a little speed rush behind him, but like, come on, dog. Like, I need you to be a little bit more Stonewallish if you're going to be out there playing right tackle. You know what I mean? So that's the biggest part. Is like, it wasn't the interior guys at all, really. I felt like, besides the Kid Rogers play, I felt like it was the tackles. And of course, the first drive, Colt Miller pummeled somebody in that first run by Ashton Jetty, but that's a different story. But like, you know what I mean? Like, Colt Miller is going to be Colt Miller, but like seeing Glaze and Munford struggle, like, I'm not gonna say this out loud, but if something did happen, you know what I mean? Like, it makes you a little nervous if they're putting Munford out there. You know what I mean?
You know what I find really interesting, and I've been thinking about this since the game happened. I've noticed a lot of the guys that look the most comfortable, or at least like we're playing free and all that stuff, were the guys, some of the draft picks, the guys that were brought up through here, which I think is a good thing. I think most of the draft picks looked pretty good. And I'm wondering, is that a Pete Carroll thing where, like, is he not that good at inheriting talent? And then he's really good. Because you thinking right now, like when Bennett and like, who knows what they're going to do with JPJ? I honestly have no idea. Like, I just wonder if he's just kind of like, at some point he's like, I just need like 2 or 3 drafts. And if you let me get these guys the minute they get out of college, it's great. Now we get guys like Eichenberg. He's a 2nd-year guy, who might develop in there. He's never really had that. I just wonder if Pete's just like, yeah, I want a young team because these guys won't know anything else other than me, and like they won't know any. So he's getting these guys that were drafted under like Josh McDaniels or other ones, and they're just like, maybe these guys just aren't, like, maybe that is like not a downside with Pete Carroll. I won't say that, because I think ultimately if you can develop drafted talent, that's an upside. But for this year, I think it's something to watch because it is a transition year.
Yeah. I see some of the questions. What were they doing with Chin holding the outside? If Chin didn't go inside,
that felt like somebody trying to make a play. That felt like I felt like those guys, since they were playing starters, it felt like they were like, oh, I'm going to light somebody up right now. And I will say those Seattle running backs look pretty good. I was like, man, 31, that guy, the first guy, the Genty's backup looked pretty good. And then the second guy I was like, man, they got some guys with some juice for sure. But I think, Darian Porter, it's not a shock that Darian Porter missed that tackle. That is kind of a downside of Darian Porter. But he's also left on an island out there. I'm hoping that's not happening too often. But Jeremy Chin, dude, you got no excuse. That's what you do. This is how you put food on your table, is by making plays like that, making the smart read and then making people pay for even thinking of running in your direction. So again, it's put on tape. So he put it on tape in a game that didn't matter. In my opinion, I think you work off that and you kind of get humbled a little bit and bounce back. I'd rather have that happen here than week 1. I'm glad they played some starters last night.
Yeah, me too. Do you think Puig and Booker Jr. push starter reps? Well, Puig was already out there. He was out there at the starters.
He was. Are we talking? Which Booker are we talking about here? We have 2 Bookers.
Booker Jr., Tank Booker.
Okay.
I didn't get that far in the defensive film, but
I thought Thomas Booker popped out a few times.
Is that who he's talking about? Maybe he's talking about.
Well, I don't know. Because Booker is the 4th, I think. Booker the 4th, and then Tank Booker might be Booker Jr. But either way. And I'll tell you, this Thomas Booker guy, just a few times, like when they're going to play teams that want to run the football and like roll out and stuff, teams that are like Ravens type teams, I would have Thomas Booker getting meaningful snaps because, man, there was a play when Drew Lock was rolling out. He just shot back from the middle of the field. Like I was like, you see that 9.81 RAS come out. And I'm interested in him a little bit. The Bennett trade, we could talk all about that and everything. They need some DTs. And I actually didn't think the defensive tackles, I thought Laulu was kind of being weird and annoying, like, to be honest. Like, I know those holding calls are odd, but like even then, I thought Pegues, Tonka Hemingway flashed. I think he was trying to make a play constantly, and I think we're going to eventually need to find a middle ground where he's not just shooting every gap and taking himself out of the play, but he did show a little bit of burst where it's like, oh, okay, I see. So the defensive tackle group is young, but I actually feel long-term like they have some decent guys there. We'll see what it comes to this year, though. But Pegues is athletic, man. He's athletic.
Yeah, I was impressed with him, man, for sure. How did Meredith do against Peely in the run game? As I said, like I thought Meredith and JPJ didn't play bad at all. I didn't they didn't make any mistakes where they're getting beat. That's what I would say.
Somebody said JPJ threw his helmet. I haven't seen that clip.
No, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, maybe I don't know. I mean, he's gonna start. It doesn't sound like he's not gonna start. If they were playing both of those guys together, that doesn't sound. I mean, he's getting a little bit of a Josh Jacobs treatment though. Like when McDaniels, what did Josh Jacobs do after that treatment? He has best career season. So,
yeah. What do you think about Steve Ruiz thing saying where he said that they put JPJ at guard because he couldn't call out protections and they were having Alex Kappa do it for him in training camp? Well, I expected Alex Kappa to do that, so it's not shocking to me.
I also said that like a stream ago. I think they doubt that JPJ. I think they want JPJ to just go hunt. I know I'm not saying guard doesn't take any mental skill, but like when you're a center, like you really have to, like you can't be reckless at center. I mean, obviously, remember like you can a little bit, but for the most part, like you got to be the one controlling everybody. You're like, whereas I think they'd rather have a guy like Meredith, a little more even keeled guy at center, and then JPJ, they're just like, just go kill somebody. Yeah, And I to be honest, if he's getting hung up about that, you kind of see why he slid to the second round, if that's the case, like, which sucks. And I really want that to work, but you're starting to see why Spytek's own team was like, Graham Barton instead, and things. We'll see. This is all speculation, but to be honest, we haven't really heard much. And there's definitely something happening with JPJ. I still think he ends up a starter week 1.
I think so too. Because he said what's happening with. Did you see him throw his helmet? I mean, did he throw his helmet?
I didn't see that. If I wish people could link stuff in here. Like I'd love to see it.
How about Travion Henderson? Yeah, I saw that. I mean, I would have raised draft Travion Henderson. So
yeah, he looks good. I mean, and he came out a pass protecting thing. Maybe week 1, maybe who knows him really well? Chip Kelly. Maybe Chip Kelly will slide that intel and figure out the weakness, and we'll stifle him. But I think he's an excellent running back. So
Yeah. How did Tonka do? I didn't think Tonka stood out too much. I thought he had a pretty good play against the run, but I didn't think he stood out too much. He was kind of just there. He didn't do anything bad. He got pushed back pretty bad on one play, but you know, Baby Suge. I mean, Tyree is the one who played well. Baby Suge.
Baby Suge is. I mean, he said he let me kick him in the nuts if he got an extension. I'll tell you, if Tyree Wilson does well this year, he's getting an extension. And I saw he revised his thing. It's got to be a certain dollar amount. Okay, whatever. I don't know. I'm telling you, man, Tyree. I don't know about the pass rush. We'll see. And Drew Lock was getting rid of the ball really quick. I think Drew Lock played under Pete Carroll and understood exactly what was happening in vanilla cover 3 defense. And Drew Lock was like, bro, I've been doing this for 10 years now. And that's why they weren't able to get a lot of pressure on Drew Lock. So I'm telling you, man, these guys, I'm just not, when I watched that game last night, preseason football is kind of boring. Like, I think people have these like kind of,
yeah.
I think people have these kind of like, oh, I can't wait. It's like, because we haven't had football in a long time. It's the Eddie Murphy joke of the Ritz cracker. If you haven't had a cracker in a long time, if you haven't had food for a month, a cracker, you're going to think it's the best cracker in the history of the world. Like, it's like football, but that dies down after like 2 series in preseason. Like, so it's sluggish. People are working things out. Like, you're watching a elevated practice and these, like, I thought most of our draft picks looked pretty damn good, and that's all I care about at the end of the day.
Yeah, me too, man. Was Luke Gessie still calling plays with those play calls from shotgun? Vanilla play calls with a Chip Kelly, bro. Luke Gessie's playbook to keep it vanilla. I mean, it's a West Coast offense. I mean, Chip Kelly's obviously running the West Coast offense. So yeah, it was the most basic West Coast plays you could think of. Yes.
Yeah,
slant flats.
Well, they didn't, and the thing is, like,
routes.
What I'm interested in with Caleb Rogers is getting him on. Like, they're going to want guys. I just keep thinking back to that clip that Dan Casey was posting of like everybody pulling on a run. And I'm like, when you have JPJ, perhaps Caleb Rogers, perhaps, Merritt, and they're all pulling. And I'm like, damn, I think that's when you're going to start seeing. Chip Kelly doesn't want to show anybody even in any sort of thing. I think Chip Kelly knows that no one knows what he is right now. And I think he has, as a guy who's coached in the NFL, he's like, man, nobody's ever had this advantage like I have before. Somebody has experience, but also nobody knows what I've been doing and what's going to come from college to NFL, what's going to be from my old regime. So the offense, I was not worried at all. And I to me, like, I thought it was good to like show Dante Thornton, like, hey, be ready for the football at any moment. And I think he learned that. Right. Mm-hmm. And from Geno's going to fight. That was a beautiful back shoulder throw for Thornton that he threw. I thought that was like Aaron Rodgers level, like prime Aaron Rodgers back shoulder throw that Thornton just wasn't ready for. And people will say, Thornton, this is a good way to learn this, to be ready for the football. This is it's good when these things happen.
Yeah, I agree with you, dude. Thoughts on Thornton and his usage? I thought Thornton, I'll say this about him. I still think beating press is going to be a problem for him. That's what I think. I think he's got a lot of work as a route runner. Just like where to go. Like the one throw, like O'Connell threw it over his head, but he also went inside when he's supposed to go outside. You know what I mean? He's supposed to be outside the numbers. He went inside. It's just he needs a lot more work than I thought. So it'll be interesting to see. I think he's gonna be out there, just because he's a deep threat, and I think he's a problem from that outlook. But I just wonder, like, if Jack Best starts to eat in his snaps later on, just because he's not as refined as a route runner. You know what I mean? Can he really get open, right, against good corners? I mean, he's going against Josh Jobe and some of those guys, but even the back shoulder, like he didn't win off the release. And then, I mean, he did get behind that one guy against O'Connell when O'Connell made that throw, which I don't know why O'Connell threw that ball so late. The problem with that whole throw,
it was late.
It was late as hell, because like I don't know why he hitched 3 more times before throwing it. I was like, bro, as soon as Grant came in, pushed that guy inside and you went outside, if he just took one step and threw it, it would have been a big play, because I think it would have gave Thornton at least a chance to make a play on the ball. But like he just, I don't know, man. It was just ugly, bro. It was pretty bad there. But
What I liked about Thornton was on that 3rd and long play, him just going up and being physical, and then on an out route, and creating separation, knowing exactly where the sticks were, and making the play. And I just thought, like, to me, that was something I wasn't sure we'd see from Thornton in a long time. I thought he was just going to be straight line. Let's see if you can run with me. Let's see. And I thought they were going to find a way to launder him in a good receiving core, just to where your third corner has to run with Dante Thornton all game, and just to clear things out, early Henry Ruggs style. And I don't know. I think he's gonna be a big part of this team. I just, every time I'm waiting for him to, when I say big part, I mean Bowers is number 1, Myers is number 2. Do you think him or Besh has more yards this year?
I mean, I'd probably go Thornton right now.
Yeah.
But it's just interesting because if he can't get open though, then it's going to be a little bit of a problem. So is he going to be able to get open consistently against better corners that aren't backups? That's my thing, right? If he's playing against like actually starting NFL cornerbacks, is he going to be able to get open? That was interesting. That's going to be the interesting part for him. Yeah. And people are really, really low on that O-line, man.
I don't know. I mean, it's because Genty didn't do anything. That I'm telling you, if Genty popped off one big one, and I think, like I said, I thought O'Connell navigated pressure horribly, and I thought he was just sitting there holding that intentional grounding, which I thought I got back to the line of scrimmage one way or another, and I thought there was a receiver there. But either way, I was just like, you kind of like left your O-line out to dry. I don't know. I just, to me, it's not.
He had plenty of time. I would say I guess in the run game they weren't the greatest in the run game, right? But it was always just like one guy. Like I'm telling you, like it was really just Munford and Glaze. They would mess up, and then the whole run game would be messed up. And that's really what happens to O-line. And then the whole O-line gets a problem with it. But like I feel like the 3 guys in the interior did not play bad, but like it was the tackles, right? So it just didn't look ugly. And he said, did they pull any guards yesterday? No, they did not.
Yeah. And I think they told I think they knew that, because I think this was the ref that was at practice with them all week, is what I heard. Mm-hmm. I think there's a little bit of an inside job happening where they told them to be extra sensitive with the flags, especially like the illegal formations, the things like that, to be like, get us on every little infraction. We got to get this offense perfect. So I think that stunted a lot of stuff too. Was just a lot of pre-snap stuff. Like that was kind of the one frustrating thing for me, was like I thought they could have got more drives in the first half if it wasn't for these, or at least more time on the field, time of possession, where you just got to see more things happen. That was kind of annoying. One play that got taken back by a penalty that I thought was great was just that play to Mayer. Like I think that's going to be there all day. Is just that Mayer's catch where it was early in the game and Mayer, it was he's just in the middle of the field and just gets first down. And you're just like, damn. Like that, they didn't have that last year. It was just that ability to just get 5 yards, 6 yards whenever they wanted to. Yeah. And I think this year out of 12, I think Chip's going to have some crazy things out of 12 personnel that's like people just haven't seen before,
Yeah, because I will say this, to the starting O-line, they only had like one run.
Yeah.
And it wasn't it wasn't like bad push. I mean, I just think that, Ashton Genty he's kind of filling out what he can do in the NFL too, how he can read things, how he can set up his burst. And, a lot of the things he does too is based on reading things and then bursting really late. So I think he's kind of getting used to how he can run the football too. So what was it? Next question. So Marcus, it seemed like Seattle was using their actual playbook for offense and defense. Yeah, actually it did. It did actually.
It was weird. It was the Raiders played more starters, but did less of their playbook. And Seattle was like, here's all our backups, but this is like my game day scheme. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah. All right. So let's get to our topic. I mean, we answered questions for almost 40 minutes here. How important is preseason, Glenn? I mean,
not important. What I mean is, obviously it's important. You got to get out there. You got to get reps. It's important to have Ashton Genty take a hit before week 1. It's important to see to me, it's always been about the back end of your roster. That's always what the preseason has been. It's the final on good teams, the final 5 roster spots. On teams like the Raiders, the 8 to 10. Like just when you don't have a lot of depth, that is how you find your depth is okay here and there. The results to me, not that big of a deal. In fact, Cleveland went 4-0 the year they went 0-16. So going 4-0 is like a curse in my opinion, and it usually just means you have a bunch of guys trying to make your team that like the other and everybody else is just working on stuff. So to me, it doesn't really matter. Like it just doesn't. Like at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I think one of the only plays I remember from last year's preseason was Jack Jones picking off JJ McCarthy, and I thought Jack Jones was a shutdown corner after that. So guess what didn't happen last year? JJ McCarthy didn't play football, and Jack Jones sucked. So to me, it's like, okay, there's just a few, you just have to like view it as like a spring training in baseball. You know, you just have to view it's like I had a big spring, but let's see if this guy had a rough spring. Okay, but he was working on something. He was working on a technique. You don't know. And people try to get all these nuggets from Pete's presser, but Pete is up there trying to motivate players. I don't think he's necessarily trying to give Vinny Bonsignor information. I think he's trying to motivate players. I think he's trying to trying to just keep the spirits up and the vibes up. So we're not going to know anything until week 1, except who makes the except for those final few roster spots, like, you know, Shedrick Jackson, like these guys. That's who it means something for. Granted, seeing something like Devin White out there, like, yeah, that's a fundamental thing. Like, can you tackle a second string running back or even third string running back? To be quite honest, he's not that wasn't their second string running back. That was their third string running back. The answer might be no. So you can glean things from that, but I just the doom and gloom, the why did we draft Ashton Genty? We don't have the offensive line for him. All of these things, like you might laugh at yourself. And people are saying, "Oh, I've been watching the Raiders for this long, and they're bad." I'm like, they're bad because they can't draft. They're bad because they're not bad because of preseason.
Yeah,
they're bad because of literally everything else. So what I'm telling you is that oftentimes the Raiders' best games are preseason games in the last 20 years. Now I think about it. When Carr got the job, like those games, you're like, wow, that was awesome. So to me, I think their draft picks look very promising. So to me, it's tough for me to be like doom and gloom after a kind of lackluster preseason game.
Yeah, and preseason is just so sloppy to watch. I mean, it's just sloppy football. That's really what it is. It's sloppy. Guys are missing assignments. Yeah, guys out there that, you know, might not make the team at all, even early on. I mean, there's guys who might get demoted next week who played early this week, right? It's just so damn sloppy. Mm-hmm. It's hard for me to like judge a team. Like even when you watch some of the stuff Seattle was doing, I mean, they look pretty sloppy too. I mean, I think they looked a little bit cleaner than the Raiders did. I think the Raiders were just so vanilla that they didn't really put anything out there on film at all. So, but it's just so sloppy. It's just sloppy football. And when you watch it, you kind of just have to watch players individually.
Yes.
Instead of like watching the unit. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what I've learned with preseason. Like, I'm going to watch these guys individually. I'm not going to try to put the whole unit together because when there's no game plan, right? So I try to see how these guys are getting off the ball.
Yes.
You know, how they're making plays. Are they, you know, are they doing what they're supposed to be doing? You know what I mean? It's just like, you know, talk about like Tonka Hemingway. I mean, he's the guy who messed up the stunt with Tyree Wilson because he took the wrong angle. And will he learn from that? Yes, but are we going to see that type of stuff in the regular season? I don't see that type of stuff on film. I don't see like two Raiders players running into each other on a stunt. You know what I mean? Like it's those type of things that happen in preseason. You know what I mean?
No, that only happens at the end of Monday Night Football against the Chiefs with under Josh McDaniels. Yeah, would never happen. No, I was like, when you said never, I was like, oh, Marcus, I don't know about never.
Yeah.
You're right though. You're 100% correct.
It's just sloppy ass football.
It's like I was trying to watch the damn Colts because I wanted to watch my guy Riley Leonard play. I was like, this sucks. I was like, I hate when it's not my team. And like, I will say one thing preseason's good at is when you watch a lot of college football and you get really into the draft. It's kind of like, what does the guy look like against, like, and I mean look like in terms of like just physique on the field. Mm-hmm. I thought Jalen Milroe was big. He's not big. He looked tiny against the Raiders. And I also think he didn't look. I'm not trying to. He's definitely a project. He's going to take time. They have time to develop him. And when he has the ball in his hand running, he looks incredible. But I was like, man, he's got a long way to go. And I was a big fan of his. But that's when you look like you look at like to me, like you just look like, damn, is that guy as fast as like his RAS says? Like that's when you're looking like, oh, okay, I'm starting to see it. With Thornton, you're like, yeah, the speed's there. Wow. And that's more what it is. I mean, like I saw people saying Pete looked worried in his press conference. Like, don't turn into a body language expert during preseason. Like, just don't do it, guys. Like, it's summer. Enjoy life. Like, I understand we all love football, but like do not read too much into this. I promise you. Like, all I'm saying is, and I'm not trying to jinx anything, but I saw like Rashawn Slater goes down. That's the shit that ruins preseason, is like guys, like valuable people getting hurt on your team. And you can say it's like the Raiders play their starters and the Chargers don't, I don't think. So it's like there's no rhyme or reason to it. And you're just like hoping the Grim Reaper skips your door a lot of times. That's the stuff that tanks your season. Like you can say, I don't think the Raiders were going to be a good team no matter what last year, but Malcolm Kuntz going down 2 days before the season starts was worse than anything that happened in the preseason.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
100%. All right. Do you feel better about the Eagles trade after yesterday?
I thought he flashed. I don't think I had a chance to talk about the trade on here. Just real fast. The Bennett trade to me was not about. I saw a lot of people going, Raider fans acting like it's Charles Woodson. I go, no, I just thought he could be CB 4 or 5. Yeah. Like to me, and if you get in a desperate spot, you're not going like, hey, is there any UFL corners we could start? So to me, like I was kind of like, hey, I don't think that was to me the Pete Carroll like size threshold thing, and the inherited players thing where I just don't think he really values that stuff. You could, if you don't fit the threshold and he didn't draft you, you're kind of on the outs. The competition thing is very much only within the circle of his regulated competition. Let's just say that much. That being said, I think this guy, this Booker guy, he's going to find it's a good trade for him because he's going to see the field this year. He's going to make this team and see the field. Yeah, he looked good, I thought.
Yeah, he has great. He's athletic as hell, right? So he has great burst off the ball, and I think he could play the run pretty well. I just want to see more from him as a pass rusher. You kind of saw that in this game too. You just want to see a little bit more, but it's something he's got to develop. But he's got a lot of potential just because he's an athletic freak. So
I'll put it to you this way though: like, wouldn't you still consider it a win? Like, let's say he is just a very good run player this year, and that's it. And they got to take him off the field on third down and long or something. But like, I still think that would at least make the trade kind of worth it. Like you did find like just an anchor run stuffer guy for Jacorian Bennett. Like I would still consider that like a success. The problem is like, what if you're starting Jim? Cover your ears, Jim. What if you're starting Sam Webb? That's the problem. It's like corners get hurt I know D linemen get hurt too, but corners get hurt all the time. There's always that 1 week where you're like, shit, we got to go like sign, some guy like me, like we got to go see if he can play, and that seems to happen all the time. And I would love if that guy was Jacorian Bennett, like, and then next year you just let him go, whatever, who cares? But that was just my problem with that.
Yeah. How about that Trey Taylor clip you had though? Trey Taylor, that was a great route. If that's how he's gonna look, bro.
That play's gonna be there all day, and that was the Genty effect. Like I said, everyone has to follow Genty.
Trey Tucker's not playing around. Mm-hmm. He ain't playing around this year. That's all I'll say.
Contract year is it not a contract? No, it's year 3 for him, right? And he's on a 4-year deal, so he could make some money this year on an extension.
Did you see JPJ kill that guy? I did see that. JPJ he's a psycho. He's jumping on piles and shit like he always does.
Yeah, and maybe they just think at guard like, all right, man, be Richie Incognito.
Yeah.
Because isn't that actually his comp? is like Richie Incognito. Like when you think about it, like he kind of just is that.
Yeah, he is.
And at a center, I think he's really good with like, he's quick and he has that quickness. But again, is it, we didn't. I definitely think he's better than Andre James, but that's not the argument right now.
Yeah. Did Greedy do anything good? I didn't really notice Greedy. I want to go back and kind of watch the DBs a little bit more.
He was mixing it up. Him and Lindenberg, I thought towards the end, they were flashing. Like they were just not. I wouldn't say making plays, but they were running sideline to sideline. You're like, okay, like that's all you need to see is guys like that. I thought him and Linden. I mean, again, Matt Jones. I don't expect. That's going to be interesting to me because I bet you the Matt Jones thing. I know this is about Greedy Vance. The Matt Jones thing, like I have a feeling there was one position coach that was telling Pete Carroll, like, we got something in this Baylor kid. And he was like, all right, we're gonna play him all game. We'll see. And like I kind of just felt like that because I'm like, Lindenberg's better than this guy for sure.
Yeah.
And Vance, he was wearing number 41. I thought he made a couple plays. I'd have to have you guys look back at it.
Yeah. I'll look back at it because I really didn't get like too deep into the second half of the defense. So yeah, man, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to check that out.
Back-to-back nights for you, dude. You didn't have time.
Exactly. You think they need it? Yes. Honestly, yes.
Justin Simmons is still out there, right?
Yeah, they.
I would bring in Justin Simmons. I don't see why they don't.
Yeah, bro. Like, because Chris Smith and Trey Jetta both look ass. I would say they just didn't.
Yeah. Those two guys, I am not confident in doing that. I would go get a Justin Simmons or like, here's my thing. JT Woods looked horrible, I thought, at corner. And maybe he's a safety. Like Wayne, maybe just try it at safety now. like, to me, that to me would be a better role, would be doing that because he's a big, strong, fast guy. He just, I know he's learning a position. He did not look good in that game. Just from the broadcast.
Mark, on your opinion, who's a better runner, Frederick Bequeese or Zach Carter? I mean, Bequeese looked pretty good, man.
He did look good. I mean, he's gonna make you say his name right at some point. Because if I were you, I'd be like, well, make the damn team and get some reps, and I'll get your name right. That's what I'd be saying. But then after a while, like, I know you're right. That clip that Ben Solak posted, which is like, people are funny about the way they see DTs making plays, is like, unless the DT is actually stuffing the run himself and tackling, they kind of don't really notice him. He cleared out the entire interior offensive line, and then the running back had nowhere to go, and it was one of their best run stuffs of the night, and it's just Pegues by himself. It was amazing.
Yeah, he looked pretty damn good. I would go with Pegues for sure over Zach Carter at this point, just because he's younger, and he just, it was just super interesting that he was out there before Zach Carter and anybody else, before Lalu.
They wanted to see.
So I think he's probably, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of people aren't talking about the defensive tackles, but he's obviously having a better camp than we've been hearing, right? I mean, if they felt comfortable putting him next to Adam Butler, because when they were out there, it was Adam Butler and it was him.
He looked big too. Like, that's another thing. Like, when your team drafts a guy and you watch their, Ole Miss film, let's say Ole Miss or something, like, and then you know what they look like. When you look in the Raider uniform, you're like, damn, that dude looks like a pro. Like, when you watch him, you're like, oh, look, he looks like a pro guy. And I know he's like, wasn't he a converted tight end out of Ole Miss? He was like converted tight, which Max Crosby too, by the way. But then Chip is saving it. They're not going to do it in preseason, but he's been getting carries. He has. Or first off, I think where one of the reasons Aiden O'Connell might lose his job is his awful tush push attempt. Yeah. What are you doing? I mean, it's like high man wins famously. But be the top, be at the top of the pile. That's what everybody wants. But anyways, he I think they're gonna have a crazy like tush push thing with like Pegues, Laki Tassi, and Gino. I think they're gonna have that for the year. That's my prediction.
Yeah, that's your prediction.
I think you have Laki Tassi behind because I guess you'd have to make him active, so maybe not Laki Tassi. I think eventually, but they're gonna have Pegues, maybe Tonka Hemingway or somebody like that, and they're gonna have a tush push thing where they're gonna do that.
Yeah, for sure, dude. Is Jackson on track? What is this question, Marcus? Do you think JPJ is just like his mom? Like,
I didn't see that clip of. I know the one people are talking about his like mom's Starbucks order or something. I don't really like stuff like that. I think that stuff's really contrived and forced a little bit. But I I just know my thing about JPJ, everything's if you know people like this, everything's a big joke to them constantly, except when it's not, and then they freak out.
Yeah.
And that kind of everybody knows somebody like that where everything's funny, except like one minor inconvenience.
Yeah.
Then they freak out. And I kind of think that's what he's got going on. Again, I could be wrong. People forget this. You want to talk about things in preseason that matter? He didn't play preseason last year.
Yeah.
And we don't know why. Still, we don't know why Michael Mayer missed a lot of time, and we don't know why JPJ did. What we do know is that Michael Mayer has been one of the biggest names in camp right now of holy shit, he got it together, and we love him. JPJ's like, yeah, we like him. We know he's talented. Let's see where he fits.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of conversations happening behind closed doors about him. So we can only speculate.
I agree with that, dude. Is Jackson on track to make the team? I doubt it. But
you might be able to stash him on practice squad, though.
Yeah.
You might be able to. I mean, like the thing with him is like, and I think Laube too. The only reason I think Laube might not make the team is because I don't know that anyone's gonna pick him up on their active roster.
Yeah.
Because for anybody who doesn't know, I'm sure the educated TDL fan base knows this, but you cut somebody that doesn't make your final 50, then you go through the waiver process where they could take them, which, that they take on their contract, whatever they have. Otherwise, they become a free agent. Whereas I think if they want to stash Laube, I don't think a lot of teams that are like, damn it, our running back tore their ACL, we got to go get Dylan Laube. Like, I don't know. I don't think that's the mold of guy they go after. So there's you have to be careful with your practice squad. It's not always guys that didn't make your team or whatever. It's kind of like, I think we can stash this guy. And I think I hope they can get, I always want to call him Cedric Wilson, but he's Cedric Jackson, Bo Jackson's great nephew.
Yeah.
And
how old is Bo Jackson? When I thought about that, I was like, damn, how old is Bo?
Bo's probably like 60 at this point.
Right.
I could see it. Marcus, we're getting old. Yeah.
It's like, goddamn.
Yeah. I'm 21, obviously, but you're getting old. Yeah.
I'm getting old. Yeah, exactly. Let's get a couple more questions and we get to the topic. Thoughts on Cam Miller? I thought Cam Miller's just poised, bro. That's really what it is. And you saw that. Like nothing really phases him. He's just poised as hell.
Yeah, and the if you listen, I heard his quick interview. You don't think about this a lot, and if anybody's been watching Gruden's off-season content, this is like number one thing. Back in the day when Gruden had quarterback camp, his biggest thing was bubble screens. Back in the day when he was with ESPN, I hate bubble screens. I hate them. That was his big thing. And now his big thing is quarterbacks that don't know how to do silent counts and they clap. Right, Jackson Dart doesn't know how to do that. Like they showed it on his show, and he was trying to be nice. He's like a quarterback puff piece guy.
Yeah.
Unless you're his actual quarterback, then he hates you. But with Cam Miller, he did not run a silent count at North Dakota State. I mean, let's be real. He's playing D2. Like your stadium only is going to be the loud one.
Yeah, and
it's never going to be you. He did all this without knowing any of that stuff. So I thought that was interesting. A guy who was doing the clap right for that. You can't do that in the NFL. You will die. I don't think he has a very good arm, unfortunately. And that's kind of the one thing, man, if he had just even a solid arm, I'd be like, yo, trade AOC tomorrow. Yeah. Get a 6th-round pick for him and we move. We'll get another JJ Pegues. We'll get another, whatever with that pick. Right now, it's kind of like, God, I don't know how you develop that arm anymore. But I love his mobility. I like I thought that 4th down play was very clever that they ran with him. You can't do that with Aiden O'Connell.
No,
you can't do that play. So I think in the short yardage game, and like I said, the overall poise where it's like, well, God forbid Geno took a bad hit in the 3rd quarter. It's nothing serious, and we need a guy to go make a couple plays. Right now, I'm thinking Cam Miller might be a little bit better in this system.
When I thought he got outside of the pocket and he made that one throw to Jackson, I thought he got a little more zip on that ball than he usually does. So I don't know. Like I said, if you can get your hips right and you can get some more zip on it. I mean, because Joe Burrow, his arms got stronger in the NFL. And, Brady's did too.
Yeah. Deuce, hey, we have Deuce Gruden. Look at Tommy Eichenberg. Tommy Eichenberg's been hanging out with Deuce Gruden. You can tell he got jacked. No, I mean, like I think Charles Grant needs a season with Deuce Gruden. Like I think a few of these guys, and Cam Miller. I mean, he's gonna make the team. That is not going to be, in my opinion. I would be extremely shocked if they didn't have him on the roster at some point, at least as the emergency quarterback. But whether he, usurps AOC has 2 more games too. I mean, if he comes out and he just cooks against the Niners and has a good week of practice against them, because he has been having good weeks of practice. Yeah. But the problem is I think we've realized, I do trust what people have been saying about practice, but there is something about taking what you practiced and putting it against another team. And I think Cam Miller came in there, and I thought they should have pulled O'Connell like after that touchdown, the first touchdown in the second half. Like, man, just pull him. Let's see Cam for the second half. It's gonna be interesting, because if Cam just keeps making plays, I think it's really hard to be like, because obviously you can't trust Aiden. Like if that's what it looks like, can you trust Aiden O'Connell as a backup? I don't think so. If that's what it looks, I mean, he looked lost. He looked like the rookie last night.
He did a little bit, like a lot. All right, before we get to some more questions, I'm gonna get to you guys' questions. So keep asking questions. I'm gonna get to them, guys. I'm saving them here. You guys are firing them off today.
Smelling blood. They smell blood. We got football.
I'm on it, guys. I am on your questions. We were gonna get to your questions, so stick around.
Do we have a good audience? Do we have a nice audience right now?
Yeah, we have about 500 in here.
Guys, like the video, do all that stuff. Leave comments and everything. Good.
Appreciate it. Appreciate you guys joining us. Standout players. I want to go standout players before we go biggest worries. So who are some of your standouts?
Man, my standouts. I was gonna say Eichenberg. We did talk about that. To me, the guy that made me jump up, like I'm, fourth quarter preseason, like who cares, right? It was Tassi, dude. It was Lucky Tassi. I mean, there's that clip of him just mowing whoever's in front of him over. I was like, whoa. I saw it and I was like, did anybody else see it? Nobody on the broadcast I was watching saw it. Like, I mean, it was just quick, but that was a standout to me. I thought, like you said, Tucker just at the beginning was like, ooh, okay, that was a nice sudden route. That was good. I think him and Gino have a nice rapport. That's really nice. Other standouts to me would be, I'm going to give a little bit of love to. I thought Andre Carter's got a little something.
Okay, all right.
He's got a little. I don't know what it is in terms of like what it's going to do for the roster, but that's a guy. They got to find a way to stash him on the practice squad. Yeah, because for anybody who doesn't know, Andre Carter, his dad, legend Cal Bear, Oak Grove High School in San Jose. My dad saw him play in high school, taking 2 linemen with each arm and throwing them backwards like an 80s movie. And just a monster. His son played at one of the it was either Army or Navy, I can't remember. But he was a rod. He was thin. Yeah. Like he was just absolutely like noodle arm, like just kind of like how Max Crosby was. Coming out of Eastern Michigan. And they stashed him, and it looks like they've put some good weight on him. Again, another Deuce Gruden thing that I get excited about. He had a couple like swim moves, like kind of, I don't know the terminology of it. He had a couple, I was like, oh, who's that? There's just a couple, nothing happened, but I got my eye on him for the rest of the preseason.
Like I said, I didn't get that deep into the second half of watching those guys, but I'm gonna check Andre Carter out. I would say my standout, the easy one, I see people saying it, was Jamal Adams, right? Easy one. But I'm gonna go Tommy Eichenberg. Eichenberg was a standout. I thought Eichenberg looked really good. Like I was a little bit shocked at how good he looked, right? Because even the play that Ben posted about Bequeese, the guy who made the tackle was Eichenberg. Then he had this other play where he kind of took on a guard and just knocked that dude right. He just gave it to him, and then he made the tackle. He got in on the tackle of the play. He looked really good. I
have a little something there.
That's what I was like. I was like, if we're gonna go with the linebackers here, I mean, I think we should play Tommy. I was like, he looked like he's just a little bit of a different player than he did, last year, right? Where there were some moments where he looked lost a little bit. I thought, man, he was coming downhill. He was playing really well. He was reading things. He was blitzing well. He did a good job on a blitz on one play. I thought that he looked really good. I was kind of shocked by that, to be honest. He caught me off guard because it wasn't something that was even mentioned on the broadcast. I mean, of course, you're watching the Seahawks broadcast when I watched it. And I
Oh,
wasn't
you
watching the
were?
Raiders
Oh,
one.
see, I watched the Raiders one, so I had Kirk Morrison and Rich Gannon talking about it.
Okay, but let's say
Kirk Morrison is excellent, by the way.
oh yeah.
Excellent
He's great. He's great. I don't know
great
why he does a good job.
broadcaster. No, I mean it was Lincoln Kennedy. Lincoln Kennedy stepped down, so like he who was also great, but no, man, Kirk Morrison was the man. Polamalu, I mean, he had the interception, but beside that, I thought, there's some like USC. I think Pete Carroll's got the Samoans on lock, dude. If you're Samoan, and the Raiders want you, like, and Pete Carroll wants you, he's just got it on lock, dude. Like, he gives them all like a little boost, like a +5, dude. Like they're just. He looked good. I thought that was a great play. Not a great throw from Drew Lock, but again, we've seen guys drop that. We've seen guys not make that play.
Mm-hmm.
The defense was not looking great in terms of yardage at that point, and it was classic bend but don't break.
Yeah.
I'm gonna also say Caillou Blue Kelly, a couple big plays, couple
Yeah.
nice plays. I thought he should have had pick six if he kept his feet on one play. He would have had a pick six, but they need a slot corner. Did Darnay Holmes play? I didn't see him at all.
A little bit, but
okay. So, guys, see the starter. My gosh,
a little bit.
Yeah, because him and Alex Kappa not playing, which they've been around a while. I get it. Like what you have in them, I guess. But Caillou Blue Kelly versus Greedy Vance. Kelly's got the upper hand right now, I think.
A little bit. Another guy stood out to me. Of course, Dylan Lobby. I thought he looked really good. Out there on offense, but Caleb Rogers too. I mean, I know people to get on the offensive line, but I thought Caleb Rogers he shocked me too. Like I was not expecting him to be that sound because Charles Grant has some plays where he didn't look good. Like Caleb Rogers, besides that one play where I think he just had a missed assignment where he thought he was going to go inside and the guy came inside. He was pretty lights out, bro. I was like, okay, Caleb, I didn't think you could play guard like that. You didn't look that good at guard at Texas Tech. So that was a little bit of a standout to me. I thought I would say that caught me off guard more than anything else.
That's what it's about. It's about catching you off guard. You'll have to in your film breakdown highlight some Caleb Rogers stuff because I just couldn't tell. I did one way or another, but it looked like that was when the O-line was kind of getting their butt kicked. So I was kind of like, oh, it must be right. You kind of like just single out these people individually when one guy loses. I mean, that's the problem with O-line is you're good as your weakest link, and corners are the same way. It's just I mean, we got to give a shout out to Maaf. What was his name? The guy who got the only sack. The guy at the end, Mafi. Yeah, no, he's the O lineman. The D line. He blocked a extra point, and then had a sack on Jalen Milrow. Somebody in the comments, please help me out here with his name. But got to give a shout out to him. He's a local Vegas guy, so give a shout out to him. I don't know what that's going to be. Another guy could possibly think about the practice squad on that, and see what you got there. That to me is the preseason stuff. I've never even heard that name. What's going on there? Mae. Mae is his name. Yeah, he's I don't know. He jumped, made a couple big plays. Pete Carroll singled him out in the press conference and stuff. And again, do I take anything he says at the press conference as gospel? No, but you're on their radar, And so yeah, that's I thought Tyree looked good. I thought it was good to see Kuntz get reps. I think Kuntz is going to take a little bit longer than people think. I think he's going to be a third down guy. I think that's what I don't think he's going to be an every down lineman right away. Not that he's not good enough to be. It's just I think you're talking about a guy whose biggest asset is his bend. And you're going to have to use that knee to do that. And he's going to have to trust it. And I think Wilson's going to be playing base end for them starting. And that might make some fans sad, but that's just the reality of it, in my opinion. But I thought it was just nice to see him out there, Kuntz.
Yeah, on that first drive when it was third down, it was Kuntz, Wilson, Butler, and Crosby. Yeah,
and that's I mean, what you're hoping for is maybe you have something in Pegues. If they have something in Pegues, oh my gosh, that even if he's just average his rookie year, like an average DT.
Yeah.
I mean, first off, that's a huge steal in the draft if that happens. But if they're able to go Crosby, Pegues, even a Booker maybe in the middle, but you never know. A Butler, obviously, but Pegues and Booker kind of sharing reps and base in a rotation there, and then you're able to do Kuntz and Wilson on the edge, and kick Tyree inside for one of those run stuffing tackles. But I'm telling you, man, like this D line didn't play. I wouldn't say it played well yesterday, but I think I still like the pieces, man. And I think they were just as vanilla on defense as they were on offense.
Yeah, I agree. All right, let's get some of these questions and we'll talk about the worries here. Is Trey Taylor getting cut or is he salvageable?
Why are people so into Trey Taylor?
Because he did win a Jim Thorpe award. I mean, we respect him to make some plays. But yeah, I don't know because they don't have a lot of safety depth right now.
I think they're gonna make some moves there. I think people don't realize Pete Carroll's first year at Seattle. I think they set the record for transactions. You're gonna see more of that. I think you're gonna see not big ones.
Yeah,
not big ones. I don't think a Parsons trade is coming. I don't think anything major like that. I think they're gonna, when the camp cuts happen, I think they're gonna swap out like 3 or 4 guys on the roster at least. I think they're waiting for some people to get cut.
That's gonna be interesting. Lobby Malott battle. Well, Malott's playing wide receiver though, right? And he's still playing wide receiver.
Yeah, and I don't know that he. So here, let's ask the Tommy Malott question here, because I do still think they could still be battling for a roster spot. Not so much at the position group, but just you're talking about special teams at this point. So with Malott, I think the best move is to try to stash him on practice squad. I'm not really that worried about losing him. People are always like, "Oh, but what if someone takes him?" Then someone takes him. I don't think he's Julian Edelman right now. I'm sorry. You can be inspired by Julian Edelman all you want. I don't think he is. We'd see it. We'll see it in the preseason if he's inspired. If he's truly a Julian Edelman, it'll pop out this preseason. Right now, he looks like a deer in the headlights. Like you see the look on his face, and I think he tries hard. I think there's nothing for it. Nothing against it. I would try to get him on the practice squad. I would, and I would even have him be a scout team quarterback in certain situations when you're playing a mobile quarterback. I would have him do stuff like that.
Yeah.
If somebody else decides, nope, Raiders are stupid, 53-man roster, Tommy Malott, I don't see that happening. Who's putting him on their 53-man roster?
I mean, he hasn't done anything to show it. That's the thing.
That's what I mean. There's nothing. All we know is he was a workout warrior. He seems like a very good kid. But come on, I don't think he's ready to be on a 53-man roster right now just because you're scared of losing him.
Yeah.
Laube has made improvements. He looks like an improved player.
Yeah, he does. He does for sure.
So I would reward that.
Didn't JPJ miss training camp because of injuries and concussion?
That was speculation, in my opinion, from what I heard. I had heard they said he had some concussions, but I don't know. I think when you couple with what Max Crosby said about him, I think you couple with him, he was supposed to be a first-round pick, and he wasn't. I think just a lot of these things, I think the Raiders are dealing with a classic Raider here, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So this is going to be what they do. And I think, to me, Pete Carroll's trying to see how he responds to adversity. And I think they are playing not games with him, but I think the games have real consequences, but I think they're playing with him a little bit. I think they're saying like, hey man, what if everything's not right? What if I don't hand you a job? What if you can introduce yourself to Ashton Genty as the center? We didn't decide that.
Yeah. He's being tested for sure.
I just think they're saying like, are you going to be a Raider? Like, are you going to be a Raider? We need you at guard. We think you're a guard. Are you going to cry? Like, I think that's what they're doing to him right now. And some people can say it's a bad idea. I think it's only a bad idea if they trade him. I don't think I would trade him. But I think this is a good way to people think this is some bad thing to do, but like Vernon Davis doesn't become a good tight end if Mike Singletary doesn't light his ass up.
That's true.
And I think we're dealing with a similar situation.
That is very true. That's a good point. All right, this is kind of like a 4-part question because I got 4 straight Cam Miller questions back to back. So, Cam Miller have worse arm strength than AOC? Can he strengthen his arm?
It's I'm sure there's sports science, and Brady will know. Yeah.
Yeah, and how many? Because people ask this question: how many snaps does he play compared to AOC against the Niners?
Man, I hope Miller at least comes in the third quarter. To be honest, they said I think Pete Carroll said the starter minutes are going to increase.
Yeah.
So now it could still be the same amount of time for Cam Miller, because what if Geno plays the whole first quarter?
Yeah.
And then AOC, and then you get so it's all about how much Geno plays. Honestly, is really going to dictate that. So they say there's going to be more. I'd like to see Geno for a couple series, but just a little, throw to Tucker, throw to Myers a little bit more. Obviously they had some drops, so let's do that.
Yeah, for sure, dude. Does he have a worse arm than AOC? I would say yes.
Not better. I'll tell you, it's not better.
It's not better, but I think he has better timing than AOC.
Exactly. He has a self-awareness that his arm's not that good.
Exactly.
That pump fake of just kind of like okay, boom, and it was all on time. Like if that throw was a second later, that's picked off. That one. I'm telling you, because that's the way that ball floated. Like he does not have that kind of arm, but I like the poise, and there's just something. There's just a little something that I want to keep around in Cam Miller.
Yeah. Thoughts on Tyree, Marcus? Did he look much the same? I think Tyree looked like a starter playing against twos, so he looked pretty damn good.
I think
so.
I think he looks good too. Like I think that's a good size and shape for him to be a tweener at. People are saying he looks a little like smaller. I maybe he does, but I think he's moving better. So. And with more confidence with him, I think it's just about confidence and not being like a robot. Like if you ever watch those Boston robotic things of like a robot wearing a shirt, like running down the hill, that's kind of how he would play. Yeah. And he didn't look like that last night. So that was nice to see.
Yeah. It was nice to see him look like a starter playing against twos.
He was low. He's playing low. That was nice. Like it seemed like he was like he got his pad level down a little bit on those run plays. That looked nice.
Yeah, he even got some pressure. When they play action, sometimes they kind of, they let the run develop first before they, start rushing. And he did that, and he won that rep. So I thought he looked like a guy who's like a rotational starter playing against twos. That's what he looked like. All right. Before we get to the next questions, biggest worries, Glenn. What was your biggest worry from last night?
It's tackling. You have to be able to tackle. These were veterans that were brought in to stabilize this linebacking core. And when Devin White met a running back who, I'm sorry, I forgot his name, the running back. So yeah. My point is that this is not Derrick Henry. This is not any of these people. This is not Saquon Barkley or anything. Devin White just going and just grabbing at air, like he had a blindfold on. And it wasn't just him, right? I mean, Darian Porter, Jeremy Chin, we all saw these notable missed tackles. I thought that red zone play where was it Linden? I can't remember who it was. In the red zone where Torrey Horton had the touchdown.
Yeah.
I thought like things like that. I mean, I'm glad they're on film because that's how you correct these things. But these are things that like should be non-negotiable. When you're one-on-one with somebody, you got to make a tackle.
Yeah.
That's why you're on the team. There's nothing else. You don't cover people. You don't do anything. And also a little bit of one-on-one winning. I think Locke was getting rid of the ball really quick. I think it's it's vanilla coverage that he's gone against in like 8 straight training camps. So I think for him it was just pitch and catch. I think if Graham was able to get a little more exotic, I think Locke would have thrown a couple more picks personally. So I'm not worried about that. But on offense, I think they're still sorting things out on O-line, and I just. Chip Kelly's such a mystery. We have no idea. I gotta just sit back and grab some popcorn for week 1. It's tough. It's tough. I have no idea what's happening on offense, but I'm not worried.
Yeah, I think that I agree with that. I think the biggest worry was the tackling, but I think the biggest worry is the starting linebackers. If those guys are starting linebackers,
Dude, people told me the linebacking core improved, and I'm like, Robert Spillane's better than all of these people. I'm not saying they should have kept him. It was the same thing with Josh Jacobs. I didn't want Josh Jacobs to get a huge contract. Why do you replace him with Zamir White, though? That's not what I signed up for. And it's kind of this idea like they replace him with these dinosaurs. And to be fair, I grouped in Jamal Adams with those dinosaurs. He's a little more interesting to me. And he looks like a redemption thing and whatever. To me, I hope Eichenberg and Lindenberg just continue to have really good preseasons.
Yeah.
And hopefully Landon Roberts is going to be on the team. He's a green dot guy. That's fine. To me, as a guy who doesn't watch film, who doesn't do any of this, there's this like magic thing where like people are like, cool, I just signed with the Raiders. They paid me money. I can't wait. I'm going to put on this jersey. Holy shit, I forgot how to tackle. Why? Like, this is crazy. I have this jersey on and now I don't know how to tackle. And that's just what it's like when you sign with the Raiders. And I'm like, I watched it. That was the PTSD moment for me. I'm like, what? Why?
Yeah.
Jeremy Chin is the one where you're like, you forgot?
You forgot how to tackle? Why are you going against that play? Pissed me off. But yeah, the linebackers got me really worried. I think the safeties had me a little bit worried too. Right. And, he said Jermaine Pratt should be right. Jermaine Pratt didn't look that bad, but Atlanta Roberts didn't look very good. I think Atlanta Roberts is old. So, and he never was really like a super athletic player. So when you get to like the 30s and you're not very athletic, that might start showing up. Mm-hmm. But that's why I hope, because how good Tommy Eichenberg looked, maybe if they have some bad games early on, we see Tommy Eichenberg come in the game. And then, maybe the linebacker position gets a little solidified there. Same with Jamal Adams. But yeah, the linebackers, they got me. I'm worried as hell.
The thing is with me is I was always worried about that position. There were a lot of people that were like, oh, no, man, dude, like, this is great. This is going to be great. We got like absolute beasts. And I was like, I've always been worried about it. So it was kind of like less of a shock. But to me, it's just like, just tackle, dude. It's okay. Like, if you're getting burnt in coverage, that's what I expected. But you have to be able to make a tackle, man. I know Devin White had, all sorts of stuff off the field that happened, and I'm very sympathetic to that. He's got to tackle running backs one-on-one when he meet. That play was there. And even if you don't make the tackle, you got to slow the running back down or something, and then somebody cleans it up and it's a 2-yard gain or something. That's the stuff to me that really eats at me. It's stuff that we've been seeing. It's just it's like tomorrow they could sign Fred Warner and he'd forget how to tackle. That's the stuff they need, the curse they need to beat.
Yeah.
Like Tommy Eichenberg, save us is what I'm saying.
Yeah, because it's the other question, but he said, are we overreacting off of one drive by the first team defense? No. My thing is Tommy Eichenberg played the same team, but it wasn't like like the Seahawks played the first team offense and then brought those guys off. Like, Eichenberg was playing against the same linemen, the same guys that were setting up, and he looked way better. That's my thing with it. So, whatever.
Plus, Seattle was tackling just fine. So that was, to me, it was kind of like, well, they're tackling. The NFL has blanket rules for all of practices, and all we've heard about in camp is the Raiders, the physicality that's brought back in with the Raiders and this energy. And I don't think they played slow. I don't think there was a lack of effort.
Yeah.
It's just, to me, it's like, man, tackle, whatever you got to do. And maybe this game is just going to be played Clockwork Orange style in front of all of these guys. And maybe this was some Pete Carroll, hey, it's not all just fun and games. Now we have to watch you guys miss tackles. And now you guys are going to, now the competition really begins, because now we've seen you guys not tackle well. And he looked pissed off about not tackling. He did. Yeah. That's the body language because what defensive-minded legend is going to be happy about missed tackles? No, they're not. That's the stuff I thought was eating at Pete Carroll. And they're going to have to figure it out. They're just going to have to figure it out, because teams will just, especially when you play that cover 3, it seems like that's what they're going to do. Mm-hmm. If they're going to play that cover 3, people are going to throw in front of you and make you tackle all of the time. And that's kind of what we saw with the Gus Bradley Raiders, where they probably was the last good tackling Raiders team. Maybe, I don't know. I don't even know if it was good tackling, but it was relatively speaking okay. You got to hit what's in front of you.
Yeah. All right, let's get some of these questions and we'll get to our last topic here. What about Malott, PS, quad? I say practice squad.
I think, well, it's the answer is both. Cut, put on practice squad.
Yeah, exactly.
They cut you. I just don't see anybody going, haha, idiots. And then like the guy that almost touched a punt in the end zone. I don't see anybody doing that. He did not put any film out yesterday that would show you that he is going to be. There might be one GM that was like, no, I see it. But again, are you putting him on your 53-man roster? No.
I mean, the guy who get picked up is Jackson.
No, you might be right there. And I, to be honest, that's a huge battle right now.
Yeah.
Bachman, I thought, had a pretty good game.
But how big is his injury though? Is the injury pretty serious? That's the thing.
He came back into play.
He did.
But he also was limping. Like he was he's a guy. I mean, he's the type of guy. No, I'm good, coach. Because it might be, this about a huge swing in money here.
Let me play on kickoff, coach. Coach, I can still play kickoff. Okay.
Yeah. There's parts of my ankle floating into my calf right now, but I am good. I'm fine, coach. Bachman Turner overdrive for sure, but I thought he played pretty well.
Yeah.
So that final receiver spot is going to be really interesting because let's go through right now. Okay, who's making the team? Myers, Tucker, Thornton, Besh. Okay. After that, what happens? I think they're gonna. How many do you think they're gonna keep?
It's gonna be interesting because I think.
Because they're going to keep a lot of tight ends. I think they're going to need to keep 4 tight ends.
I think they're going to keep more defensive players than we think. So I would go 5 wide receivers.
5 wide receivers. So who's the final wide receiver? It's going to be that's an interesting. I don't know the answer yet.
It might be Jackson. If I went right now, I would go Jackson. But like,
does he block? I don't know.
Yeah,
we don't know. That's stuff you need to find on the film. Does he block?
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
So I'm not saying I know the answer. I have no idea, but Bachman, we don't know. It seems like he's having a good camp. So, and I thought he looked good. I thought there was that nice play on the 4 verticals by AOC. I thought that was a nice play by Bachman. Just good job of good awareness there and stuff, and good read by him. But I don't know who the final receiver is, and I think that's gonna. I don't think they do either.
Yeah.
That's gonna be. Nobody's talking about that. Like they're talking about, the Raiders need to trade for like a big receiver. I don't think that's the case. I just think they need to get a final. I think they can only keep 5 because I think they're gonna. If they want to play 12 personnel, you have to keep 4 tight ends, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're gonna need 2 backups for 2 starters, and I think that's why they brought in. I'll tell you that guy out of Towson looked all right. 46.
Yeah.
Runyon.
Yeah, Runyon.
Carter Runyon. I liked him. Mm-hmm. I thought he looked all right. And then, so you think that tight end they're going to keep obviously Bowers and Mayer. Ian Thomas made a couple plays, looked all right.
Yeah.
And he's just big as shit too.
I know,
yeah, he is big as shit. And then I was like, damn, I didn't realize how big that dude was. Like, and then that 4th tight there, I think they're going to keep 4. So this is going to be interesting because I don't know that they're set on that number yet. But
yeah.
Well, that's what preseason's for, is that.
Yeah, I agree. So is this talk about Malott picking up that ball in the was it a kickoff or a punt?
It was a punt. It was the dumbest thing I've seen in a long time. Everybody is doing the like wave off the incomplete sign, like do not touch this football, whatever you do. And he's like Looney Tunes music is playing in his head. He goes, and I'm like, that's how he was going to make this team, is like a big special teams play. And that's probably why he went and tried to go touch the ball.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I don't think he's going to make this team. I think he's going to be on the practice squad, but I'm telling you right now, you're not going to make him hit the 5th wide receiver because you're scared of losing him. What does he do at wide receiver right now to help you? Nothing. So I don't know what they're going to do at kick returner. Kick return's weird right now. I haven't really loved. I thought they covered kicks really well.
Yeah,
but I know they did. I thought they covered kicks like they're stopping people at the 20. I was like, damn, like they were making play. I think Laube made a play. Again, that's a way you make the team.
Yeah.
I just think it's going to be interesting, right? Tight end, wide receiver, and then how many linebackers do you keep? Like those final 5 spots, I think are very interesting.
I agree, dude. How do I feel about Zamir White on kickoff? I mean, he looked pretty good on that kickoff. Yeah.
It's going to be a running back. Whoever's doing it's going to be a running back.
He might make the team based off that. I mean,
hey, that Collier guy is interesting to me too. Like he's got a little speed and he don't fall backwards very much. And I was kind of thinking like, let's see him return a kick, because it's not about being a good returner. If you can catch the ball in the air, you got all the time. Then it's about just being a running back and picking a lane. And this is, no team really knows what they're doing yet on this.
Mm-hmm.
I kept seeing, like, there was a part where somebody returned one 3 yards deep. Yeah. And Rich Gannon's like, what are you doing? And Kirk Morrison's like, well, I mean, you got to like try a play to see like who's good. Like, you can't just take knees in preseason. You have to, you have to do this. So yeah. I tell you, Philip Dorsett too. I see that's another guy. I don't think he's that bad. If he's your 5th receiver, is he bad? Is that a bad 5th receiver?
No, it's not. It's not.
He's another guy. I'm telling you, they have some interest. 5th wide receiver 5 is I can't tell you who it is right now. Shedrick Jackson definitely made a good debut, but if we don't hear from him the rest of the preseason,
Yeah.
But Philip Dorsett knew where to sit down. Veteran. I mean, he's a former 1st-round pick. This is the guy who eats during the preseason, but wasn't he a Raider like 2 years ago too?
Yeah, he always looks great. He looks great in the preseason all the time. He looked great that year too. He did.
So it's interesting. I mean, he might be I'm telling you, man. Like these guys. So people are saying Bachman's a good blocker. It might be Bachman, but we'll see what the injury's like. And if they can. Wide receiver 5, I think, is one of the biggest roster spots on this team.
I agree with you on that, dude. I agree with you on that. I'll say with Chris Collier, I still trust black guys with long blonde hair. So,
I'll tell you, that's some old school shit to say, because the new school, that's going to be happening a lot. I feel like. I feel like you won't be able to stay on for very long, because
he looked good though. He has a good run.
I'll tell you, there are a couple of runs where I was like, whoa, like he was a hammer on it, and he had a little bro. I was like, I'm telling you, he might get loose. He might get a little RIP George Atkinson the third. He might have a couple of Chris Warren. He might have a couple of those games where you're like, whoa, 60-yard run. Yeah. But yeah, I'm just saying, you're gonna see a lot of long blonde hair.
I know, man. I know it's a Gen Z thing. I know.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because that's a big, that just happens more now.
I was just thinking that when you brought him up.
Anyways, let's move on. I'm uncomfortable, Marcus.
All right, guys. You still think the staff is developing Thornton's intermediate route running? I think they need to get him with this press, man. I think he's just struggling beating press a little bit. That's why I've been a little worried about him. But I hope he gets better. But he can still win deep. Like, I mean, he still beat Josh Joby deep. I mean, Josh Joby was playing way off, and he still ran past him, right? Like, I know he can win deep. It's just, can he run the other routes?
I think he's Brandon Lloyd. I think he's Brandon Lloyd. I'm telling you, man, that's my pro comp for him is Brandon Lloyd. I think he's going to pop every once in a while, and then sometimes you're going to be like, I needed that catch, and it didn't happen, But I will say, I think he's the guy that'll put in the work. Like, I think everybody's really impressed with his work ethic. I don't think he was put out there for traits alone. I think that he's a guy he's a self-aware guy that understands his limitations, or not even limitations. There are no limitations for him. That's the thing. Like, he straight up can with his athletic profile, and he seems like a nice guy, too. And he seems like a determined person. I think he could be a wide receiver 2, but like the wide receiver 2 that could like blow the game open kind of thing. Like, I don't know that I see, I know they're always like, well, guys with this athletic profile. It's just Randy Moss and Calvin Johnson. I don't see that. But like, what if he's like 2 tiers below that?
Yeah.
And he's just like good wide receiver that at any moment you can't you like you figure his function in the Raiders receiving core is okay. Brock Bowers can do anything, and we have to just center everything around him. Ashton Denty, they can pound the rock with him if we go too light in the box to try to cover. And then, Jack Besh, he's a guy that can eat underneath and get yards after the catch. Jacoby Myers the same way. Trey Tucker can do a little bit of it all. And then, I have this Thornton guy who, if I am so concentrated on those other aforementioned names, Dante Thornton can just make me throw my clipboard on one play and just be like, fuck, because he just walks into the end zone on a set. Because again, Geno's not missing that throw, the AOC one. We could talk all about that preseason game. If Thornton gets that kind of separation in a regular season game, sorry, that's a game-changing play, and that's what we need.
Yeah. So basically, you're saying he's more like the guy we got from the series. You say he's the
people comped it to Martavis Bryant. But the thing is, I think Martavis Bryant was kind of like a numb nuts, and I think Thornton's got a good head on his shoulders. I think he's going to put in the work. Martavis Bryant clearly did not put in the work, and he would because when you are that athletic, you're just not used to like anybody like being as good as you. So you just think like I'm fast, I'm a beast. Look at my high school tape. Nobody could get in it within 2 counties of me. Tavon Austin, those type of people. And then Thornton, I think, realized he's like, no, I want to get like by the time he gets paid, $180 million contract. Like I want to get that. And I think he knows how to do that. I think he's going to have to, work on it. And I thought that just that third and long play where he was able to get separation, it might've been a push off, but it wasn't called. But he used his size, he used his speed, and he made a nice catch. So, early Larry Fitzgerald is a bit much there. We're talking about Hall of Famer.
Larry Fitzgerald had like 20 touchdowns in college.
That's just, at Pitt, when he had short hair at Pitt. Oh, I was a Notre Dame guy. Oh my gosh, he scared the daylight. If you see his jersey he wore, it would look like 1965 jersey that he was wearing with like the short cut and like mesh, and like he was just
monster.
And Robert Gallery's better though. Yeah,
exactly. What do you guys think of DK?
Tough game. I thought it was a tough game for him, and your problem with off coverage, like you said with him, it came into play on that one play where he just whatever happened in front of him, he just didn't seem to have a clue.
Yeah. He didn't look that good. Who was White Lightning number 35? That was Collier.
Chris Collier. That was Mr. Blonde Hair. Yeah. Yeah. So you're saying he's Spencer Rattler? He's a.
I mean, this is long. It was kind of dreaded. I was like, man, all right, bro.
No, I hear you. Yeah, I hear you. But he was, I mean, it's a different thing when you talk about this new era and you see a guy and he's like, "What's up, man? My name's Chris," and you're just like, but anyways, I thought he was lightning.
Yeah,
he looked good. I was like, whoa, like that was something, like to me, because that's another one. Like, what does the running back room look like? I don't know that I can answer. Like to me, Zamir White, it looked like the same old damn Zamir White to me. I don't know. They tried to run him outside and he just fell, for a yard, and you're like, okay, that's Zamir White.
Yeah, I know Zamir White's not better than McCormick. I 100% know
right,
that sure.
And they might only keep White when they're saying I need a hammer, and I'm like, dude, how many extra yards does Zamir White make? He doesn't. Yeah. And if what I heard about the Raiders practice is that this is the first time they've tried tackling is in this game, then I don't believe a damn thing about the Zamir White practice hype.
Me either. I don't agree with that. How do the Stars get whipped by backups? Like, how does this even happen?
I mean, did they get whipped?
I wouldn't say they got whipped. I would, like I said, early in the show, it was just one guy would miss an assignment and some of the things like that. I don't think they got whipped that much, but no. I mean, I think that's overblown, and I get it. Like,
trust me, I get it. Like what we expected was Max Crosby, like gladiator beheading somebody, like, and we expected like a few splash plays. Like, this is our first team defense. I don't know, man. I feel like a lot of it was just kind of feeling stuff out, like everybody getting their feet wet. Whereas you had again, Mike McDonald's been in Seattle for 2 years. He's been able to install his culture, his philosophy there. And I don't know about the guys that Seattle was starting. Maybe a few of them have been playing there for a while. I think it was that's the problem with firing your coach constantly, is that the Raiders are constantly installing a new scheme, and we're constantly in an install here.
Yeah. All right. So in the show with a roster bubble.
Yeah.
So, what do you think, Glenn? Who's on the roster bubble after 1 week of preseason?
Okay. Tommy Millott is the obvious one, in my opinion. I think Aiden O'Connell, if he does not play well in these next couple preseason games, I think he's going to be trade bait. I do think somebody might give them somebody. So it's a guy who started a few games, had a year where he went 5-5. I think that's valuable to some teams, and we'll see if there's any kind of quarterback injuries otherwise. And I'm talking about like a 7th or 6th round pick, nothing crazy. Yeah. Conditional maybe. Mm-hmm. We talk about somebody saying Matt Jones. That's not a bubble. I think the bubble popped on that one. You cannot tackle, sir. We have higher paid guys who cannot tackle on this team.
Yeah.
You sir. I still think Devin White's on the roster bubble. I think when you hear about these puff pieces that are done about Devin White, I think it's to motivate him rather than this is our starting linebacker. Could be wrong there. I think he actually is on the bubble there, especially with the way Jamal Adams has been playing, because Jamal Adams was waiting for the Raiders to sign him. He wanted to play for Pete Carroll. He basically said, like, the health's got to check out, and it looks like it did. I think he's on the bubble. I think let's see who else. To me, I think Sincere McCormick is on the bubble.
Yeah, it could be possible.
Because I think him and Mostert, they're not redundant.
Mm-hmm.
But with Zamir White, in theory, he gives you a bigger body that in short yardage play. I don't think it does anything, but apparently it's a bigger body. And then McCormick and Mostert, they're kind of redundant, and then we'll see if one of these Laube or Collier kind of guys makes a team. So I could see Zamir White. I could see either Zamir White or Sincere McCormick, one of those guys on the bubble. Who do you think?
In my opinion, so I think some of the safeties. I think Trey Taylor, right? Oh, it's obvious, definitely. Right? Trey Taylor's on the bubble. From like some of the defensive tackles too. I think some of these defensive tackles aren't going to make the team that we think like Jonah Lalu. We're like hyping Jonah Lalu all off season, and then you bring in you watch Big East, right?
If they're trading for and drafting Booker, guys, yeah.
I think that's a secret roster bubble guy, because they're hyping him up.
That's a good call.
But he wasn't out there. They're hyping him up like he's with the first team. He's with the first team. But yeah. And then we start the game, and it's Grease out there. And it wasn't like Lalu subbed in for him. So he had to come out of the game for Lalu to come in.
Wow. You're right. I think you're right. And this Lalu guy, man, I don't know. He didn't play well.
Right? And he didn't play well. He had the 2 holdings. I think he's a secret roster bubble guy. But like, people, the hype has been around him so much, right? It was just, I think, like, if Booker, they brought in Thomas Booker, maybe he plays a little bit better than he does. Talking Hemingway, right? Maybe he plays a little better. They got Tyree playing inside. You got Pegues playing inside too. He might be that guy that might kind of get pushed out a little bit, right? Just because he's not performing that well. Who else I'm trying to think about? Because I feel like I don't want to say the corners because they just don't have any depth, but I feel like there's like some corners that could get cut. I mean, like Darnay Holmes could be.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
roster bubble guy. And you go back to the running back position. I think, I think Mozart is going to be the guy, but I feel like that battle, like with McCormick and White, I think one of those guys could be the roster bubble guys too as well.
Yeah, no, I think there's a huge battle at running back. Like when I saw Chris Collier kind of showing some little burst, I was like, whoa, like this. I don't think we know a thing about this running back room yet. Like I don't think. We know Genty is the guy, of course, but
yeah,
behind him, I don't think we know a thing. And I think Pete Carroll's press conferences, and I'd love to hear somebody from Seattle. Like, I think a lot of his press conferences are strategic. I think Pete Carroll is a calculated man, and I think he's this fun, like, oh, let's bring a bubble out to practice. But like, I think he's pretty cutthroat. And I think he's like, I'll build you up. I'll try to motivate you the best you can. However, I have high standards, and you have to do it this exact way. Mm-hmm. And I think that's going to make – I think this roster cut day is going to be wild. Like names that names with Wikipedia links, like names that like with guys like that maybe have accolades in the past, like Pro Bowl and stuff that get cut from this team. Because I'll tell you one thing, Pete Carroll, he's got a rookie fetish.
He does. He has a young player fetish.
He's like Belichick with girlfriends, but it's players.
Yeah, exactly.
100%. He likes rookies.
Yeah,
he likes rookies. He likes young players, and that's my thing with inherited talent. I don't know that he appreciates inherited talent the way other coaches would. I think he's like, no, I'll draft this kid out of Wyoming who's way sicker. Don't worry.
Yeah,
and he might be right. It's just, I think at the beginning, I think it's going to shock a lot of us.
Yeah, for sure, dude. All right, let's get these questions to get out of here. Charles Grant, small and overpowered to you guys.
No.
I don't think you look overpowered. Like I said, I think he just has super high pad level.
Yeah.
That's what I think it is. He stands straight up. And when you do that, you're going to get pushed back. You're not going to look good. That's what I think it is with him for the most part.
Yeah, and to me, I think a lot of people, when he got drafted, people said steal of the draft. There's a lot of people that said steal of the draft for Charles Grant. There were a lot of people that were really high on him. Steal of the draft still doesn't mean he plays right away, in my opinion. Yeah. Steal of the draft means with a year, with an NFL offseason, NFL conditioning program, we add a little weight to this guy and a little strength to him. And yes, maybe, and we get his pad level down. I think the feet look great. And I think in the run game, I think he can offer some things. And, I hope he doesn't have to play this year, but it's offensive line. Guys do get hurt, so he might have to. And I think the thing is, man, if Glaze is bad, that's the
biggest problem I thought.
And then you start thinking, like, who's your backup? Mumford looked awful in preseason. So it's like, to me, it's like, is Charles Grant your right tackle at some point? That's what scares me, because right now that's to me at the end of camp, I hope they look for a camp cut, like a swing offensive lineman with some familiarity. I hope they do, because it doesn't seem like Dalton Wagner's a part of this thing. He wasn't playing until the very, very, very end, I don't think. 70, whoever 70 was, got beat like a drum out there. Their swing tackle position, to be honest, their starting right tackle position is up in the air. It is Glaze, but is Glaze good? Hopefully. That was kind of weird. And that's just I think there's going to be a huge cut day, and I think they have a lot of guys circled for who they think is going to get cut from other teams. Spytech familiarity, Carroll familiarity, but mostly Carroll familiarity. Yeah. Like, I think Spytech is drafting Pete Carroll people and signing Pete Carroll people. I think that's what he's doing. So I think there's going to be a lot of rollover. I think there's a lot of moves to come. I would say at least 5 to 7 more moves, if not more.
I agree, dude. Honestly, I agree with that, dude. When was the last time the Raiders receiver
great question? Tim Brown probably
got a major extension. I mean, does Hunter Renfrow count?
Did he get an extension?
Yeah, he did, right? He got an extension.
That's the one. Yeah, of course it counts. Yeah, that's the one. But you're talking about before that, Hayward Bay didn't get one. Did Crabtree only got one? No, he got. Oh, he didn't draft. They didn't draft.
Yeah, they didn't draft Crabtree.
I mean, yeah, you have to go back to like Tim Brown, James Jett, like guys like that. Like, is who I did. Jerry Porter get an extension?
That's a good question.
Again, that's old, so the point stands. Henry Ruggs would have got one.
Henry Ruggs would have got one. Yeah,
he would have got one.
That still pisses me off sometimes.
That one kills me. But again, Dante Thornton can forgive us for our sins, hopefully.
He said he can get a major. I mean, he's still got like 11.
He's always worried about it because I get to kick him in the nuts over an extension. So he's worried about it. He's gonna
major.
He's gonna turn into SpotTrack.com all of a sudden.
He wants we never signed a receiver for $25 million a year.
Yeah, you're correct. I mean, that's a new thing. Is guys getting that, but yeah, no, I mean,
yeah, not 25 a year.
Yeah, we stink. Right. Shug, we get it. We stink. Yeah.
I don't think that's ever happened.
No.
I don't think that's ever happened. So.
Cooper would have been the guy, but to be fair, it's probably a good thing that they didn't. I mean, the Cooper trade is a good idea. They just drafted Jonathan Abram with the pick. That's the problem. I mean, it was a good trade. I thought, as Cooper is not a number one receiver, so the fact that they could sign him right now proves that.
Yeah. Why did Gaynor play so late? I mean,
he's probably cut.
Yeah. I mean, he had a couple good plays on special teams.
He did. I mean, I do like watching him.
So maybe not.
Yeah, but and it's I don't even know what linebacker is to this team. Because you're gonna have Jamal Adams.
Yeah, Matt Jones is playing. This is
yeah. I'm telling you, I think I'm right about Matt Jones. One position coach said this guy's sick, and Pete Carroll's like, "What?"
Okay. I just don't understand why he was out there so damn early.
Man, it sucks when you have hella tattoos and you suck. That's my problem. When you have hella tattoos and you're tatted up and you can't tackle, it's the most nightmarish thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, he just has a lot of pain, I guess. He just has a lot of pain in his life.
I got every wide receiver I couldn't tackle and every running back I couldn't tackle tatted on me. Like the people that remember the people drafted before them.
Yeah.
Come on, Matt Jones, prove me wrong. I have a big game, Matt Jones. Prove me wrong.
You know what I'm saying? He's got a lot of pain or something.
He stinks. That guy stinks. He came in running like a dog with shoes on.
Or it's for the ladies. He might got the tattoos for the ladies.
Oh, I bet he crushes it. But I mean, at the end of the day, if you have tats, you got to be like a crazy tackler.
Yeah, I agree. And that definitely was a match. So it's definitely for the ladies. He's definitely trying. He's going to be like on Love Island or some shit like.
Yeah. Matt Jones, I had a cup of coffee. I play a little linebacker. But I'm really sensitive. That's the thing about me is I'm really sensitive. I hit hard and I love hard. I love
exactly. 100%, bro. 100%.
Yeah.
All right. Just hopped back on. Who are we talking about? The X8. Who's AZDT? I don't know.
Is that a guy's name?
Darth Vader, you gotta help us out. I don't know if you left already, but you gotta help us out. Dalton Wagner who's the Arizona DT? No, I don't think so.
I don't think Dalton Wagner's not making this team.
Could see someone sending a 6 or 7 for Mozart? Maybe.
I don't know that I'd take it, to be honest, though. I think Mozart. I don't know. They didn't put him out there much. He was in the Kappa. He's in that Kappa category where they're like, we know what he is. So I don't know that his playing time in the preseason shows anything. I mean, him, Darnay Holmes, and Kappa are all in that same kind of there's plenty of film of these guys. Leaky Fotu. Yeah, I mean, he's hurt, right? He's in a walking boot, so
he sucks anyway. So that was he is ass.
I tell you, JJ Pegues might be our ticket.
That's what when I saw JJ Pegues, I'm like, just play him. He's young and he's balling out there in the first preseason game.
Yeah,
let's just get him some reps, and then by year 2, where he's playing pretty damn well, and I just like him because you can move him around. Mm-hmm. I think he's a pretty good player. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What are our top 3 defense formations?
I don't know.
I mean, like
Graham didn't show a damn thing. So
I mean, they do like kind of 3-4 technically over thing. They do like they played like a lot of basic cover 3 this game, so it wasn't too much. I would say don't read into it too much. So
I think both schemes they didn't show a damn thing. I think it was all mano. Can you tackle? Can you block?
Exactly. What about Lalu and those holding penalties? You know, one of them, like I don't know what the hell they called on one of them.
The one where his back was turned.
Yeah,
I was watching. Kirk Morrison was explaining what defensive holding was. I go, yeah, dude, that's not what's happening in the replay though. Like, but I will say, Pete Carroll did talk about it in the press conference, and he said the ref came over and said, "Hey, I don't know what his number, 93 or whatever his number is." He said, whatever. He's holding we're gonna call him if he doesn't stop this. Sorry, they said they warned Laulu, but not Carroll. But it was like they saw something, and again, this is the same ref that was with them in practice all week, so maybe he saw something in practice too. I think Laulu is. I don't know, man.
As I told you, roster bubble.
And if you're doing if there's penalty, and I think maybe there's, the league picks a thing every year to like harp on, like, oh, this year we're calling defensive holding, like, and maybe that's the case, which I still don't understand it to this day. And the Raiders are the only team I ever see get called for it.
I know.
It's happened like 3 or 4 times. I remember Wilkins getting called for it last year, and I mean, again, with what he gets accused of, maybe it was something. But
NFL DTs do it all the time, Glenn. They basically, because when you do inside zone, right, the combo block, and the guy has to get up to linebacker, the defense tackle will just grab you, so you can't get up to him, and it keeps the linebacker free. They do that shit all the time. Yeah. So like,
well, hopefully it gets called. If the Chip Kelly's moving linemen all the time, then we'll get a bunch of those calls. Obviously, right? Yeah.
They don't call that shit in the league. Yeah. They never call that. Like it has to be like blatant. Like the guys like pull a jersey. Like because I remember like the 2021 year when the Raiders were playing the Chargers defense tackle, he would not let I forgot who the guy was. I forgot who their guards were at that point in time. But he would not let one of the guards get up to the second level. He literally would hold them, and they kept just taking out Josh Jacobs. And I was like, are you gonna call that shit? It's right there. Yeah. But they don't call that shit, bro. Like that's why it's stupid.
Which is insane. Like, and it's like dribbling, like double dribble in like NBA when the point guard's just bringing it up the court and he's like walking 4 steps and dribbling once, and they're not going to call that because like why would anybody want the pace slowed down that much?
Yeah.
So, but we'll see. I don't know. Laulu gets called for that twice, and I think Pete Carroll was like, "You motherfucker."
It just wasn't blatant enough to call it.
I don't know. It was weird though. They did single him out though, and if that was the ref that was with them all week at practice, he probably was doing some crazy things at practice, and they were like, "We're gonna get his ass in the game" or something. Yeah. I mean, look, I don't doubt referees think like this. So it's referees all about pattern recognition and tendencies. So if you commit a lot of penalties, you will get called for phantom penalties. Let's just say that much.
Exactly. All right, guys. We're out of questions here, so we had a lot of questions today. We had 65 questions.
People just had a lot of questions about that game. I'm not feeling bad, to be honest. I don't know. I it's weird. Like the final score doesn't matter, but it does. It's like odd. I don't know. They got a week of practice against the Niners coming up. No tackling though. Still no tackling to the ground, which is just like, I don't know. Are we ever going to see a return to that? Are we realizing that that's not why guys are getting injured? Guys are getting injured when they cut once after not getting hit for a while, and they cut on and they get soft tissue isolated injury. So I'm like, it's not the contact that's hurting these guys. So put the big Marvin the Martian helmets on these guys and let them tackle to the ground in camp. If that like, to me, I'm so sick of this shit. This like, we're bubble wrapping every player, but everyone tears their ACL like pitchers with Tommy John. Like I can't stand it. And then it shows up in the games, and then the first 3 or 4 weeks, you see like just bad offense and poor tackling, and it's just like we're gonna have to find a way. Back in the day, they used to play 5 preseason games. By the way,
I know
it wasn't. Remember that? That was insane. I don't want that. I'm just saying, play your start. Like these guys get paid to play football. Like injuries are gonna happen one way or another. And most of the time, it's not these like hitting injuries. It's he cut and his knee gave out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Eddie came late, but he made sure to let you know about Fuaga, the O-line talent. Shout out Eddie. Turns out blocking matters. Eddie never changed. We appreciate you here, Eddie. Never changed.
Actually change. Yeah.
All right, guys. We're out of here. Hit the subscribe button. Subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I'm going to do some membership. So if you guys want to join the membership again, I know I haven't been doing membership over the off season, but this is new film. I'm going to be doing some memberships. So check that out. But we're out of here, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And we'll be back. See you guys. Peace.